Okay, here we go. So, welcome to another full moon. I don't know how it is in your household tonight, but we have had a fiery couple of days. And the more that I learn, the more that I'm like, oh, of course, this is happening. There have been lots of performance anxiety and new money issues and new communication issues and all kinds of things just in my house. And it is something that I have really learned to, um, and I mean, it's not easy, but learning to step outside of it and notice what's happening and have a little bit of a sense of humor, honestly, and yeah, just more awareness and patience about what's happening with a full moon. Because yeah, we go through these cycles just as the rest of the earth does, and it's okay. So it is all kinds of stuff happening over these next few days as well. Today is the full moon. For those of us in, I think, North America, I think we're still synced with the States. We just had our time change, so that probably threw your household out of whack. And um, this weekend is spring equinox. So, again, this whole new season. And we are wrapping up the numerological year at the end of this month. So April will be the start of the new year as it is in um, numerology. So there is this really strong sensation of like wrapping things up and sorting things to see what you want to keep around and what is ready to be tossed. I really wish that Facebook Live didn't have to keep telling me about like video speeds and things like that. Hi, Lisa, all the way from Australia. That's so cool. Um, yeah, so for Lisa watching right now, or for those of you watching the recording, I would love to hear like, are there any little kind of out of sync quirks that you've noticed over this week? Because yeah, it's just been my sleep has been crazy, and same with my kid, and just the emotions have been like a serious um, roller coaster. I was going to say firecracker, that's not the right word. So yeah, it's been interesting. It is a 9 energy month, and I am learning to embrace the 9. I used to get kind of nervous about the idea of like the end of the divine timing cycle, but it really is this chance to assess and transmute that which is finished and consider what's next. Oh, yeah, overwhelm in your house too. Even on the other side of the world, this is happening. Well, I'm not glad, but at least it's not just me. Um, So, yes, in numerology, it is a 6 energy year, which is all about bringing everything into alignment. And with that being the 9 energy month, it's like, yeah, what really feels good? And this transformation energy, it feels a lot more mental than physical. So the changes that you're going through are going to be a lot more like in your head rather than, oh, look at my bank account or anything like that. And that can feel really hard, or like, how come my body isn't completely transformed? We really like to see tangible results. And unfortunately, that is something that when you have that dependence on, I want to see the proof of my work, um, you're putting that pressure on physical results, and it can lead to disappointments. So this full moon is a real like pause moment to stop looking for the physical results, the tangible results, in order to allow yourself to feel the transformation that you're going through, because it's putting the the emphasis away from you and from away from the inner you, and it's making things like money more important than you. It's making like physical, which I'm not about, but like physical looks more important than you. um the like before and after photos, all that kind of crap. So that's what this session is really going to be about, is releasing that dependence. Like, I have to see it, I have to see the proof in order to have it. um and yeah, it that's what we've been trained to do, right? Is to have the physical proof. You don't have your success until you have your measurements or your before and after, or the the money in the bank or anything like that. But all of those things can also be taken away, where the inner transformation is yours and yours alone to choose how you want to feel. So today is an 8 energy day, which is all about momentum. And momentum is never that force of momentum. It's like just stepping into the river and letting it take you along, along with the 6 of diamonds. And that's the other reason. Oh, yeah, and taxes. Like, there's all this crap going on. And so we are in diamonds energy right now. And we have been, well, today's the day 6. So it's been a while. And that can feel really intense about, like, how do I feel about money? How do I feel about my wealth? How do I feel abundance? So what I want to encourage is the idea of switching the focus, instead of like, what am I getting? What am I getting? What do I have? But moving that into, how can I serve? And that will bring um, a whole new energy. And again, I'm not saying let's go out and give and give and give until we are completely depleted, but also giving to yourself and having that service, not servitude energy. So doing things from a place of servitude, or from service, but things that feel good, right? And um, something that I have learned is like, it's really fun to be of service in places that you're really good at. um, I signed up to be the chairperson of my school PAC last week, which my family watched me choose that. You know, are you sure? And I said yes, because it's a teeny tiny little school and they need the support, and I have lots of support. And sitting in that tiny meeting, there were like 5 of us. I had to introduce myself. The person who was the PAC chair um, had to give it up because of various family issues. So she asked me to step in. I said sure. And so I had to introduce myself to people that I don't know. I'm new to this school. Eleanor's new to this school, and things being as they are, I haven't had a lot of time to meet a lot of parents or staff or anybody. So introducing myself, I was like, well, this is this, and I do this, and whatever. And then I said, but I do know, like, I'm new to being a PAC chair. I don't know all about that, but I do know my strengths. And my strengths are I am really awesome at asking people for help and for volunteers. And I am totally comfortable asking for like donations, especially with things like this teeny tiny little school. So with that, I was like lit up and charged up compared to being of service at something that you're not awesome at doesn't feel good, right? So finding those ways where you are really living from your strengths and using those opportunities. So yeah, watch out because that teeny tiny school, I'm going to be helping them out now. So the big question right now is how to release those judgments of yourself, because we are judging ourselves all day long, and um, and judgments of others, so that you can have um, this kind of clearing the path, right, to move forward. Again, full moons are a great time to just let things go. Well, thanks, Lisa. Yeah, I'm excited. I really thought about it for a while, and then I'm like, yep, gonna do it. Um, so the question is forgiveness. Um, what does that mean to you? And not just to you, but thinking about anywhere that you have been um, holding back forgiveness against others, what, or even feeling when others have forgiven you for something. I know there's been times that I make decisions or I say things without thinking, and my kids are so quick to forgive. Thank goodness. I have kids who were like, well, mom's doing the best she can, where I I sometimes am not so quick to forgive. So what does it mean? Yeah, what does forgiveness mean to you, basically? So I'll give Lisa a moment to think about that, and I will write a few things out. Got weird traffic happening outside. And then we'll do our first round of tapping. All right. So part of the reason why I do this work is so that I can do it for myself. So this is always helpful. Um, so before we start tapping, I do want us to really get grounded and invite in this energy from the moon. So go ahead and close your eyes. Oh, I'm just going to read this first. Thanks, Lisa. Forgiveness to me means kindness, acceptance, stepping back and looking at different points of view. Yeah, beautiful. I can just keep clicking things and Facebook keeps telling me. Anyways, all right, close your eyes and take a few breaths in through the nose and out through the mouth. And just really letting your body settle into this space. And feel that presence of the moon and inviting in that grounding energy starting from your feet. So we're connecting from the earth first, drawing that energy up through the bottoms of the feet, letting it move all the way up the legs, relaxing the hips, and just letting everything soften all the way up into the heart. And then imagining from the top of the head that beautiful bright light coming in from Source and the moon, and just opening up through the crown of your head, letting that loving light trickle down, flowing down behind your eyes and all the way, filling your whole head. And that bright, loving light flows down all the way down your neck, bringing a new softness down your shoulders, flowing down your arms all the way to your fingers. And continuing down into your heart where it meets that grounding energy from the earth. So earth and sky are meeting. And just mingling in your heart. So that loving light becomes even more powerful, more grounding as it flows into every cell of your body. Take another breath into that energy, connecting sky and earth together, meeting in your heart. And then we'll start tapping on the side of the hand and say, even though it's been a busy season, and sometimes I get caught up in all of it, right here, I am ready to bring in some forgiveness, especially because I love and accept all parts of me. Even though I have allowed so much judgment in my head, both against myself and others, I am getting ready to shift that habit because I love all parts of me. Even though I have held back forgiveness because judgment felt easier, I'm realizing that judgment makes life so much harder. And I'm getting ready to set it aside. Okay, top of the head. I am ready to bring in a new sense of kindness. Eyebrow point. This judgment feels so tense in my body. Side of the eye. It honestly exhausts my mind. Under the eyes. I'm curious about seeing a new point of view. under the nose. Because all these judgments are wasting my time. Under the mouth. I don't know why my mind keeps doing this. Collarbone point. Why do I have to judge instead of allowing kindness? Under the arms. I wonder if I'm ready to change this habit. Under the chest. Maybe now is the perfect time. Wrist point. Especially if I forgive myself for any imperfections. Top of the head. That feels like it will be easier to start trying. Okay. Pause there. We know how that's feeling. And I'll just take a drink. So, as I said, like our brains are trained to look for the negative and watch. And there's so many different reasons for that. It may be a fear that's coming up for you that if I judge it first, then I won't be kind of caught out. It may just be a habit that you have learned since childhood that, oh, we judge that behavior or we judge that person and I'm justified because that's the way my family does it. All of these old ways that are ready to start changing. So this can feel a little yucky sometimes, but just have a thought about where have I been super critical lately? And having that backup question of why? What is the reason behind the critical, the critique, the judgments? So I mean, there can be even those little things of, well, they seem like little, but they can also be big, like judging the way my kid cleans their room. Why is that important? Um, oh, Lisa, I'm getting curious to look at that habit of letting negative thoughts spiral round and round. Yeah, well, it's your brain keeping busy, right? It stops you from doing the thing as long as you stay busy doing the thinking about doing the thing. Um, that's what happens a lot for me, at least. As long as I keep looking at the negative thoughts, then I don't actually have to do anything about the negative thoughts. So, yeah, where have the critical thoughts been? Everywhere. Um, hmm, I'm gonna write a couple things down, and then we'll do another round about that. All right. So maybe someday I'm going to look at what all these things mean with the Facebook Lives. Why do you have to tell me about the video? I have no control over it. Here, I'm being judgmental about Facebook again. So, inviting in this curiosity about why am I judgmental and what is it serving? What purpose is it serving? So, side of the hand. Even though I get frustrated with my judgmentalness, I'm getting curious about making some changes, especially because I am loving all parts of me today. Even though I have held back forgiveness, I am realizing that takes more energy than it's worth. So I'm getting ready to release that today. Even though these negative thoughts have been spinning around in my head, and I've been judging myself for not catching that. The bigger part of me is getting ready to allow some forgiveness there too. Okay, top of the head. How would it feel to be judgment free? Eyebrow point. I'm curious about what judging myself is doing for me. Side of the eye. Because I believe that I'm trying my best. Under the eyes. And this doesn't feel like constructive criticism. Under the nose. So maybe I'm ready to change my tone. Under the nose. So that I can look at these habits from a place of love. Collarbone point instead of a place of superiority. Under the arms. When I look at the places that I am being critical, under the chest, I can see the part of me that is scared. Wrist point. And maybe that part of me is ready to stop being so protective. Top of the head. How would it feel to allow myself to see things with loving eyes? Eyebrow point. And release that habit of judgment. Side of the eye. I'm getting ready to bring more and more forgiveness under the eyes. For myself first, under the nose, and then for everyone else that I encounter, under the mouth. Because I deserve to feel free of judgment. Collarbone point. And it's exciting to imagine my life without it. Okay. That feels good to me. So, anyone watching the replay and Lisa here now, that idea of like just continually bringing in forgiveness instead of it being um, something that has to build up and build up and build up, but just like, oh, yep, there it is again. Forgive. And to continue allowing that source love energy to keep coming in instead of having a barrier so that we can move forward without the constant hiccups. That feels really nice. Because if we are all here to do our best and to serve from our best selves, if we forgive the missteps and see each other from the belief that we are all trying our best, then it just smooths the path so much more. Um, so, my final question for you is to think, how do I want to show up? And when I forgive my critical self, what will I be capable of? Because that's the thing, right? You notice the judgment and then you judge yourself for being judgy. And then you're just in that whole negative loop. So if you can forgive yourself, like, oh yeah, there it is. That was fear, that was my protective self, that's who it was. I forgive. Let's move on. To just move on, like it's like re what is it? Whatever the word is for video games when you die and then you come back to life. Um, oh, I wrote down law of acceleration. So that, yeah, that's why the law of acceleration feels like momentum to me. Well, there's the law of momentum as well, but if you want things to continue happening, um, acceleration is experiencing more feedback. So, whatever you're doing and thinking and feeling, the law of acceleration will means that you will feel more of that. So, if you're constantly doing, thinking, feeling judgment and lack of forgiveness, that's going to keep coming in. But the opposite, if you develop this forgiveness, like forgiveness habit all the time, with habits of allowing this, and you can make them ritualized habits, you can make them just a little like, I've seen people do that, like, oh, there, I'm going to snap that thread. It's like cutting the tie. Um, but thinking becomes feeling, becomes action, right? So when you notice the thought and you notice yourself wanting to judge the thought, instead of going to the, oh, you suck for having that judgmental thought, you can be like, oh, there it is. Yep, there's my protective self, forgiveness, and then move from that action of what do I want to do from that place instead. Both the feedbacks are okay, and you can move with inspired action that way using acceleration. So you're always going to be thinking, deciding, do I want more of the judgment or do I want more forgiveness and love? And the invitations will come in to strengthen that vibration so that you can continue to clear the pathway, basically clearing the rocks out of your way. So I just talked a whole lot again. Hang on a sec. We're going to do one more round of tapping to anchor in. How do I want to show up? How do I want I want to change my perspective as soon as it happens. Oh, did you just delete that or did I just lose that? No. We'll see if that comes back, Lisa. Um, it this is what tapping can do, is helping you be able to step outside the thought more and more so that you are not the thought. You are looking at the thought. You are the observer rather than, yeah, change the perspective, change the thought. Exactly. When we feel like we are stuck in the thought, it's very hard to change it because you are it. But when you are able to kind of like, oh, there's that there's that part of me, silly, judgy part. Let's take care of you and look at what you need, right? Instead of being like, yeah, good English. So I love that, Lisa. Change the perspective. So let's do one more round. And then, well, Lisa's, I guess it's like daytime where you are, but I'm going to just, I think it's actually not raining here. So I'm going to step outside for a minute. And I gotta say, that's another thing that has changed for me is more rituals. And you can make them as personal and private as you want, but having these things to really anchor. So, um, things like I have my, oh, I can't even think of what I'm saying, but my new moon intentions, I have them written down. And then I look at them again at the full moon and like, how are things going? Do I want to carry on with that? Or are there things that need to shift? Um, yeah, having my numerology, my divine blueprint written out so that I can see, like, oh yeah, this is clearly from my dharma, what has been written out in my cards, and getting clear on what I am here to do. So having these little rituals, having little whatever little reminders, even if it's like sticky notes to remind yourself of what your focus is. These are the ritualized little habits that will continue to remind you, because otherwise your brain goes back to default, and that's going to be the negative um, thought loop that you've been stuck in this whole time. So it takes that retraining of, you know, and using nature like the full moon, the new moon as a way to like, okay, checking in. Here we are, full moon. What needs to get out of my way? Oh, judgment. Let's let it go. So, fired up today. It's good. Even though I started out feeling so judgmental, I have let that go. And I acknowledge that part of me with love. Even though I had been holding back forgiveness, I am going to start putting it everywhere, especially because I love and accept all parts of me. Even though forgiveness felt hard, I am ready to change that story and let forgiveness be an easy gift in my life. Okay, top of the head. I am creating my own transformation. Eyebrow point. And the more that I change my perspective, side of the eye, the more I feel my thoughts transforming too. Under the eyes, It's exciting to become this new person. Under the nose. It feels like I'm coming back home to myself. Under the mouth. I am sprinkling forgiveness everywhere I go. Collarbone point. I allow my fears to rise up and be seen. Under the arms. And I forgive those parts of me with love. Under the chest. The more that I practice forgiveness, wrist point, the more clear my vision becomes. Top of the head. My path has become more precise. Eyebrow point. I'm no longer wasting my time with judgment. Side of the eye. And I am welcoming this new transformation in my life. Okay, just feel that new energy. And yeah, I encourage that sensation of just letting the forgiveness come that quick. It doesn't have to be a long ordeal of, groveling or suffering. It can be just loving and gentle and sweet of, yep, I see that part of me that wants to judge that, and I choose not to go that way anymore. I don't choose that for myself. I don't accept that. I am choosing a new path. Oh, all right. Thank you, Lisa, for joining. And for those of you who watch the replay, I hope this is bringing in a new transformation, new energy for you. So I will be back tomorrow morning with some oracle cards, and I have been really diving deep into my numerology readings. So if you're curious to learn about your karma and dharma readings with your birth chart, that's going to be coming up. So, all right, laughing at yourself. Yeah, I love it. Just, yeah, instead of judging, it's like, oh, there it is. There's that old me. All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. And I will talk to you very soon. And thanks. I really loved it too. It felt really good. So, must be, I was like saging like crazy before I came in here. So, all right. Have a great day, and I will be back.